Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the top small caps that were in play on Friday. First up, ticker symbol AOBC. This was a huge move, closed up 43%. Yeah, you can see it's really pushing on RSI and Fasto here, hitting very frothy levels. Look at that parabolic spike on plus DI, getting very vertical there. There was a close on Friday above the 300-day simple moving average at 1342. That's going to be the key level to hold. You can see there was a giant volume spike. On a pullback, you want to see that level hold, and also the high close from back here in June lined up with 1325. That's going to be a big zone to stay above. If it dropped below, that would signal downside risk. You want to see it stay above that and this descending resistance line. To the upside, you're looking for a move up here to this high close from back in December, which is lined up just below 15, and just above that is the 400-day simple moving average at 1535. Those are going to be two big levels to break above. Okay, yeah, nice move for AOBC. If you look here at the weekly chart for AOBC, you can see it closed above the green line last week, and so that's the 50-week moving average. The last time it closed above that was back here in 2017. It failed to stay above that level, and that signaled the downtrend, the start of this big downtrend. So if it can turn the 50-week moving average into support, that would be a bullish change in trend. It's also above the 400-week moving average at 1321. You want to see it stay above both levels, and then the next big zone to break is going to be up here. You want to see it, it's going to be the 300-week moving average at 1575. That'll be the next key level above. Okay, take a look at INNT. Closed up 36% today. RSI is at 54. You've got, that shows you the charts heating up. Fasto's at 92. Nice crossover here on ADX. Yeah, this was a nice move on Friday after setting up last week. It got above that middle Bollinger Band, currently at 520. As long as that level holds, that'll signal the start of a new uptrend. The closing price back here on July 25th is the key level to break. If it can bust above this line, then you're looking for a move up here. You can see all the moving averages are lined up. The bottom moving average here is the 300-day simple moving average at 1035, and that'll be the next big level. If it can get past this 8 zone, that was the most recent high close right there. And so, yeah, it's going to be all about busting above the 25th of July and then $8. So, yeah, nice move for INNT. Take a look at MTP. Closed up 29%. Really nice move as well. Yeah, you can see RSI now is at 69, Fasto at 93. You have plus DI breaking out. So it's a little frothy there. It had a multi-day run with a big gap up open. And then now it's hitting the 200-day simple moving average. So going forward for next week, trading above 88 cents and the 200-day simple moving average will signal upside potential. You'll be looking for a run back up to dollar land, testing these previous high closes, possible run up to that 300-day simple moving average at 129. If it fails to break that 200-day simple moving average, look for it to pull back down here and test that 100-day simple moving average at 70. That's the gold line. The close above that level last week was really bullish. As you can see on this chart, it had been resistance. It needs to turn into support for MTP to head higher. Okay, take a look at EVFM. Closed up 17%. You have RSI now at 83, Fasto at 95, so it's pretty frothy on both indicators. You have plus DI breaking out. This had a really nice multi-day run into the close last week, so congrats to everybody in the chat. I know that some people are trading this, so good job. It did bust through the sideways channel from June. That was the next resistance level to break. So the close above the channel and above the 100-day simple moving average at 390 does signal more upside potential. So going forward for next week, it needs to stay above that gold line. If it dropped below 390, then it could work back into the bands. As you can see, the candles have been riding EMA4 at 344 support higher. As long as they keep riding that pink line, it signals more upside potential. If you look back here in May, there's a gap between low of day on the 22nd and high of day or on the 21st and high of day on the 22nd. And so what you're looking for is for a gap fill now. A run up to this red line here, right around 460, 470. That's going to fill the gap. So now it's on gap fill radar for next week. If it dropped below that 100-day simple moving average, though, that would signal that the run is cooling down. Okay, let's look at CRIS here. CRIS here, it closed up 18%. The chart's heating up with RSI above 57, Fasto at 77. You have plus DI breaking out after the bullish crossover. And so this chart looks really interesting for next week with the close above the 50-day simple moving average. That's the green line there. If it can stay above 167, we'll be looking for a possible run up to $2. If it can break this high close resistance level from back here around 195 or so, this is a very bullish move. Now, if it drops drop below 167, it could pull back here and test that middle Bollinger Band. It needs to stay above the middle Bollinger Band at 151 to get a new uptrend going. But for this really to be a good play, it has to stay above that 50-day simple moving average. As you can see, it had tried to break this multiple times. So finally closing above is our signal that it wants to head higher. Now it just needs to follow through. Okay, let's look at ASNS. Closed up 21%. Nice move. It's heating up. You have RSI now above 30 after being below for an extended period of time. So that's signaling the charts, starting to heat up now. And you have Fasto now at 79. Keep an eye on ADX here. If that green line crosses over the black line, that'll be, or the red line, that'll be a signal the bulls are taking control. Yeah, this had a nice bullish close above the middle Bollinger Band. And so as long as it stays above $2, it's in play for a potential move higher. Okay, if it dropped below $2, that would be a sell signal. It has to, stay above that middle Bollinger Band. As you can see, the last close above the middle Bollinger Band was back here the day before the drop. There's a gap between low of day on this candle and high of day on this candle. Okay, so the space between these two candles here, and so a run up here to basically the bottom of the gap is up here just above $7, and the top of the gap's up here. And so what you're looking for now for next week for the stock is to bust through this upper Bollinger Band at 240. That's the next key level to break. And then you've got this 50-day simple moving average way up here at 390. There'll be resistance from these candles that were pushing lower, but right now it's all about staying above $2 and starting a new uptrend. Okay, look at GALT, closed up 10%. Yeah, you have RSI now hitting 70 with Fasto at 98. Yeah, this GALT chart here shows the break above January high close and March high close. So it was breaking that level on Thursday, but it closed below that January high close level, and then on Friday it closed above. So it's signaling more upside potential. It's just starting to push really hard. There's been 3 gap up opens in a row, and that did form bearish 3 gap ups reversal pattern. So this is a red flag that's the chart's still strong and bullish. It's just getting a little ahead of itself. It's currently on a 5-day run, 5 white candles in a row, 5 green volume bars. If the candles did pull back and work into the bands, what you want to see is that green line hold. That's the 50-day simple moving average at 547. So as long as it stays above 550, that's going to signal more upside potential. And then $7 will be the next level. That's the close here. And if it get above 7, then you're looking for a run back up to 9. It's all about that high close from back here on the 18th of June that we're looking for the jar to fill back up to that level if the 50-day simple moving average holds. Okay, let's look at GALT here on the 15-minute chart. And so, yeah, if you look over here at the annotations, this was a chart that we were working on, and yeah, we were looking for a close above this closing price at 11 o'clock on the 30th, and that finally happened on the last candle of the day. And so that does signal more upside potential. It broke out higher on the last candle. So as long as it stays above that level, that's currently here at about 640, 637, that's going to signal more upside potential. If it dropped below, that signal downside risk. It needs to stay above this 50 simple moving average at over here at 613 and the middle Bollinger Band at 617. If it dropped below those levels, that would be your clear signal that it's starting to pull back and it could consolidate. Okay, take a look at YVR, closed up 20%. Another one that people are working on in the chat. It had the big run up to the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. That's the red and blue lines here, and then it dropped back below. It actually pulled below the green line and the gold line, below the 50 and the 100-day simple moving average after trading above intraday. Those were all signals to lock in gains if you were in. Once key moving averages break, it really needs to stay above the signal that it wants to keep pushing higher. Now it can keep getting uptrend going, but it has to stay above the middle Bollinger Band now. That's currently at 108. If it dropped back below that level, that would signal downside risk. The 100-day simple moving average at 123 is the next key level to close above. Okay, if you look down here at accumulation, distribution, and shaken money flow, you can see they had big spike downs on Friday. It fell off a cliff here. The upper wick on Friday's candle, that was a big signal that they were selling shares. You can see this long upper wick on the candle, and so that signals dilution. If you look at the YVR 15-minute chart, you could see it ran up here and it formed what we call a climax spike. You could see it. It had multiple candles in a row where it pulled back, but it pushed higher and pulled back. And then once it finally formed this red candle, that was your signal to lock in gains if you're a trader. That was the intraday climax spike that gives you a chance to reload lower if that's what you want to do. It did pull back. It came down. It bounced off the 1500 simple moving averages. It needs to stay above 103. If it dropped back below 103, that would signal the chart is completely broken. And then to head higher, it has to break above 110, 111. That's the middle Bollinger Band and the 400 simple moving average. Okay, take a look at CANB here. Closed up nearly 13 or nearly 14%. This is a stock that we had on our radar on the pullback, and we were looking for a bounce, and that did happen on Friday off of EMA 13 at 5.8. Yeah, congrats everybody that got the alert. I put out an alert on Friday in the chat that 5.6 level was the 5.556 level was the reload level, and so that was a nice intraday trade. So congrats to everybody that caught that alert. It did form bullish piercing line reversal pattern on Friday. So the white candle, pushing into the previous red candle, does more than halfway, close more than halfway above the midpoint of the previous candle, signals more upside potential. So next week we'll be looking for bullish reversal confirmation. It needs to stay above EMA 4 at 6.9. If you look at the CANB 15-minute chart here, you can see the alerts were put out that it was hitting this blue line here. That's that 300 simple moving average. As long as that level held, it was the reload level. It's also the stop loss level. If it dropped below that level, that would be a sell signal. If it was going for a close below, it's always a fine line when you're trying to get that low entry point. Now to the upside, what it needs to do is break above the red line here. That's the 200 simple moving average at 732. If you see it trading above 732 and turning that level into support, that should signal that it wants to head higher. Okay, so we've been trading these Q stocks or in stocks that have dropped down to the over-the-counter after trading on the big boards. PetroQuest is one, ticker symbol PQUE. It used to be ticker symbol PQ. Yeah, so it's been heating up. Yeah, you can see the crossover here on ADX with the green line crossing over the red line, and it did close above the middle Bollinger Band last week on really light volume, and then volume picked up on Friday with the little push here. So this is just these are like lotto type plays. They're just for people that like these kind of penny stocks. They're very risky to trade. I'm just throwing it out there. We're always looking for different trades out there, and one of them are the Q trades. This is just always have to have different ways to find daily percentage gains, and this is another avenue. If it could stay above that middle Bollinger Band at 6.2, that signals more upside potential. It needs to stay above this closing price here in August. If it dropped back below, that would signal downside risk. If these levels hold, it could possibly work its way up to that 50 simple moving average at 15.7. Okay, take a look at ARLZQ. It used to be ARLZ, dropped down to over the counter, filed for bankruptcy. That's what the Q stands for. It's heating up on the close above EMA 4. I think this drop right here was when it dropped down to the over the counter. Up here it was trading on the NASDAQ or big boards, and it was up here in the 20 to 40 cent range, and then it dropped down here to around 5-6 cents. Came down, found support. Look, some people loaded in double zeros, and then the reason why I'm showing you this chart today is because it closed above that pink line. That's EMA 4. If it could stay above 236, then it could head higher. You want to see it break above EMA 8 at 3 cents. If it gets above 3 cents, then it could get moving. Okay, this is one BIOAQ. This is one we've been working on in the chat. People have been trading. Closed up 13.5%. So it has this new uptrend going right now. It started last week on this candle that busted above the middle Bollinger Band at 13.8. It has to stay above 14 cents. It's riding EMA's 4, 8, and 13 support higher, the pink line and orange lines. What it needs to do is break above high close. There was a double top at that level. If it can get above that red line, then you have the 150-day simple moving averages. Above 3.6 would be really bullish if you can get above the green line, because there's a gap over here between low of day on this candle and high of day on this candle, and so a run up here to just below 6.5 would fill the gap, and so that's the upside potential. If you see it bust above 3.6, it has potential to run up to 6.5. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. Yeah, come check out our chat. Thanks.